That one, right? Okay, right. Oh, there you go. Oh, there she is. Yay! Look at her. She's on TV. Yay! Look at you. You're on TV. Oh, what's her name?
That's Beth.
Hey, Beth. How you doing, Beth? Hi, Beth. Oh, don't we have fun here? This is a community effort, so we don't really care, and everyone comes here and plays with cameras and lights. It's part of the Media Mentor program, and find out all about it at mambosmedia.com, where you can also watch other episodes of our fine program. We meet people from time to time as, folks take us around to Fort Worth, and we get to be part of the community and know things. And a couple of weeks ago, I got to meet this guy here, John Campbell. Give him a big hand, please. Now, what I found odd, a bit taken back, is when I first met this guy, you were speaking in a Scottish accent for well over an hour. Is that right?
Unfortunately, sometimes happens, yeah.
Now, he was not pulling my leg, he was not jerking me around, or as we like to say, jerking me around. You're actually autistic, is that right?
That is a fact, yeah.
And you went on to say you wouldn't have it any other way.
Not one doubt in my mind.
Well, I want to know, now, autism is an ailment, isn't that right? I mean, that's something that people would say, oh, he's autistic, and they say, ouch. Now, I want you to speak up a little bit so nobody can hear you.
Okay, still getting used to this.
Yeah, that's okay.
Traditionally, when you think of autism, you do think of an ailment. Like every autistic you've ever seen is, well, we're not thinking they're in the greatest of situations. And honestly, exactly what makes it is still not quite understood, and exactly how it affects people. But
now, when did you realize you were autistic?
Well, I've always been a little bit different, but the official diagnosis came about 3 years ago.
And what circumstance caused you to even consider that? Were you just having a bad quality of life all of a sudden, or what?
Well, some people are really good at making real low grades, and there's some areas, and really high grades in other areas. I took that to a pretty professional extreme. And, well, it just came up that while I was very obviously disabled while quite younger, maybe this is something I should look into. Especially when I was quite young, it wasn't quite an official diagnosis yet.
Because you were getting low grades, but this guy here is a freaking genius. He has developed, you're an incredibly smart man. I mean, I happen to know the stuff that you think about is deep, and I mean, we couldn't put all our brains together to match your IQ. I mean, you're an intelligent guy. And yet you come to me and say, I'm autistic, and I'm glad to be, so you're happy in that condition. No medications for your autism, none available, is that right?
That's right. It's something without a cure, but who wants to be cured? But more importantly, right here.
Who would not want to be cured? Why do they even call it an ailment?
Well, for one, at least the first decade of my life, and far beyond that as well, I was very obviously impaired and disabled. That is no joke. It's something serious that really affects your quality of life and your developmental progress. And, well...
Yeah, well, okay, but you turned around. Somehow you've reconciled that, have you not? You said, I'm an autistic person, and so there you go. And then you go around telling everyone, well, I'm glad I am. I would never have it any other way.
That's absolutely right. I mean, what autism does very early on is it really messes around with your sensory perceptions and a lot of the stuff that affects your emotions, your ability to react, recognize, etc. Where that goes is, okay, you're growing up. You learn cause and effect, right? Like, don't touch the hot pan, you do it only once, right? Okay, it's a sensory perception. With autistics, sensory perception, the different ones, they can be more intense, they can be more numb, and they are always flaky. So as you're developing, as you're learning this reality around you, what happens is the same thing you touch this time doesn't feel the same the next time. And what you're stuck with is trying to develop in a world where everything is always different every time.
Wow. And so you wouldn't want to remedy yourself from that world?
Absolutely not. There's a lot of good stuff that can come out of it.
Like what?
We've all seen like blind piano players, right? Right. That by losing that one sensory perception, they
enhance others.
Quite so.
Right. And what sensory gift have you enhanced?
Well, my hearing is my only normal sensory perception.
Hearing is your only one?
My only normal one, where it is like it is for you and me.
Right, you're just hearing stuff.
Right, at least it's the same all the time.
Right, but your visual, your vision is different every time?
Absolutely. I even though I have 20/20, I see double. And like they talk about autistics not being able to hold eye contact, that sort of thing. I'm doing that with you here now. It's a little trick I learned. If I line my left eye up to your right eye, it makes it look like I'm giving eye contact, where in reality I see completely double.
I do that with people with lazy eyes. I do. I just don't know which eye to look at. And sometimes I just look beyond them and they say, well, you seem very nice, and I don't know what to do. But does it? But you're tricking me. You're looking off axis for me, are you not? You're looking left to right, huh? It's working for me. I mean, you know, I got no problem.
Yeah, and for me to make it look like I'm giving eye contact.
All right. Well, you know, we're going to put this thing up on YouTube, and I want you to tell. What do you want people to know about this? What do you want? Because you're going to get mail. You're going to get people watching this. They're going to keyword autism. A man who says he's glad he's autistic. I want to give you your due, so nothing comes off half-baked. What do you want to tell them?
Well, long story short, autism is a very, very complex thing. There's no simple answers. And especially what's even more frustrating is when you go off there, when you start researching this stuff, all the stuff you can find, it is not the answers you're wanting. You don't find any autistics saying really anything about it. There's some exceptions with notable authors like Temple Grandin, who clearly doesn't act like a normal person. But it's mostly just professionals talking about it and more parents just concerned about it, trying to find their own answers. And before coming here and looking back at it, making sure that I knew what I was talking about, I mean, it almost hurt me checking out the information that was available based on all these parents just showing pictures of their autistic child, like, this is the fight that we're fighting. And honestly, when you're the autistic child growing up with that, and they're taking these videotapes of you and like showing to the world, you can feel it, how the condition that you have is wrong, and that you need to be better. I mean,
what would you tell them? What would you then tell the parent? What would you then tell the parent of an autistic child? Would you say just live with it? You're going to tell them that?
Well, clearly that's not the answer. I'm just saying that there is, not only is there any real scientifical great data out there, you got Jenny McCarthy going on about vaccines, which is, as we might say, a little bollocks, but yet more, the amount of information out there, it's not there. You don't get autistics talking about it. You don't get any first-hand experiences about it.
Why not?
Why not?
Because nobody understands it?
Well, for the most part, I'd say few do. Many think it's something to suffer through. For some it can be quite successful, for some not. But more largely, I think most that can actually talk about it aren't the best to talk about it. All my life I've always searched, because I'm close to the autism thing, etc. I've always been diagnosed with a developmental disorder, and if you see the videotapes of me as a child, I clearly was very disordered. To this day, if I get a migraine, I can start losing a lot of my abilities just to come off as a normal person. But I've always looked just to try to find an autistic that could speak like a normal person, and I've really never found another.
Okay, so John, we're going to put this up on YouTube. I want to have you come back sometime because you're going to get some people arguing with you. You're going to get people who don't agree with you whatsoever.
Okay.
You understand that, right?
Sure.
And you can come back and duke it out. In the meantime, you've got a new business here in Fort Worth you're starting.
That's right.
I'm very excited about it because I love the entrepreneurial spirit. Corporate tyrannists so blow. So tell me about your computer store.
Okay, while doing my work at TCU, I was finishing my major. I'd already done some of my master's, and by the time I was about ready to finish, it turned out that my part-time job out of my house had moved to another building where they let me in, and it had grown in under a year to like 7 others working with me. It just kind of grew out of hand.
Right.
And we found a better location right there on the corner of University and Berry, the former Panther City Coffeehouse.
That's right.
Yeah, we have Mr. Steve Watkins over there.
Close and dear to his heart.
Right, very dear. It's a good guy.
I know.
But we're going to call it Panther City Computer and Coffee House.
Panther City Computer and Coffee House, where you work on Macs?
We definitely work on Macs.
Okay, and so I bring in a machine, you fix me up, right?
That's right. I hate to inform you about this, but Macs and PCs aren't all that different anymore.
Well, we'll have a religious argument about that later. But John, I want you to stay in touch with us. I want to support your business. I want to send people over there. I want you to make sure that we talk about it. And congratulations for coming on and for starting your business. And give a big hand to John Campbell on the program. So how are you liking this clam bake so far? It's pretty loose, huh?
Oh, so far it's a lot easier than I anticipated.
Oh, it's like, it's nothing like sex, but it's almost like a root canal sometimes. But once the drugs take effect, then it's numb, it doesn't matter. We're going to have our acts come back and join us. We've got, everybody that sang earlier is going to come back and sing.